Oh, I'm Frank Hall.
Twist it?
Yeah, or just rock it back and around and around. Rock it. And
There we go.
There you go. Pull it up. We are planting Camas, which is a starchy bulb that was the traditional food source for the Calapooia, on whose lands we are. Their land stretched through the whole Willamette Valley south to Roseburg. And the whole is
from the Lakota to the Calapooia.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, and now what we do is we stomp it, and I will stomp. Or if you want to stomp,
no, you stomp, because I'm not very stable.
There you go, and that covers the bulb, and that bulb will grow and seed. And there's 2,000 bulbs that we're planting here. We want to make this help be a sea of blue.
That's
like
2001 right there.
We have to come out here when it's in full bloom.
Yeah, we will.
Please do. Please do.
We will.
Plant the bulbs.
We're aiming for a square foot per bulb.
Square foot per bulb.
Yeah. So you did excellent.
The
Thank you.
Lakota people planted the bulb for the color, and we're way over there.
Well, you know, you are all related, and I'm Cherokee, so I'm related to you distantly too.
Yeah, you're clear over the east side of the country, or you used to be.
Yeah, but I've lived most of my life on Calapooia land, and so I've adopted basically Calapooia Northwest tribes. Yeah.
Join the clan.
Just join them, help them, honor them. Well, this is so great. Thank you, guys. This was wonderful. I'm glad we met you.
Me too. If you don't mind, I'll put this on YouTube.
Go ahead.
I don't think he's really planting them for the Calapooia Indians. He's just doing it as a memory.
Yes.
Oh, they're not going to come out and harvest it.
No.
Well, you know, that's not in our plans, but the Calapooia, as you well know, the tribes got scooped up and dumped like trash in the worst lands, right? Okay, to put it mildly. I mean, my ancestors were on the Trail of Tears, and they would leave them behind to freeze in the frozen ditch.
Oklahoma.
You know, as on the way to Oklahoma. So they don't have very good lands for growing their native foods, and they are interested in partnerships with the public lands, private lands, and of course, obviously, in the reservation lands, to plant native foods enough that they can be sustainably harvested and actually become a first foods source.
The Lakota people said they find the worst piece of land in wherever they can. They put two things there: a military base and an Indian reservation. If they find anything, the Indians are gone.
Yeah, because it's just like
if they find oil.
If they find oil, if they find gold, if they, I mean,
they'll find another dump someplace.
Yes.
And put them there.
In the 1849 gold rush, you know, I went back a few years ago to in October and celebrating Indian month.
Giving their land back.
Yeah, it was the first time that tribe had a bear dance on this place where there had been a village, but when the gold was discovered, the whites came with guns and just basically slaughtered and just totally removed them, live or dead. They were just whatever, they were gone. And the tribe was, I think they were Europe, they were so happy to have a bear dance there in celebration and sort of reclaiming that. So much was done to these tribes because they were the gold that we want, for the oil that we want, for the farmland that we want. Yeah.
Well, that was carried on from the East Coast clear to the West Coast.
You're right. It was manifest destiny.
We were always in the way. We were always in the way on our own land. We were always in the way.
Yeah. How did we become in the way on our own land? It's like, wait a minute, in the way of what? But
you know, back in 1800s, they put out a paper said free Indian land. You know, well, right there they told them it was Indian land.
Right?
It was free. It wasn't free, it was free, but they actually admitted that was Indian land, but it didn't make any difference. It was still free to the white people.
You know, I've been part of a Salish culture sharing group meeting in a medicine house up in the Swinomish Reservation up in northern Washington. And one night after ceremony, everybody was like either camping out behind or asleep in sleeping bags in the medicine house, and some of us were sitting by the wood stove. It was just a bunch of guys, and I got the guts to ask a question that I had been wanting to ask, which was, why is it that I would just see that the native tribes are, to my sense, complacent? Because here, white culture came in and destroyed the natives' land and the culture, and then now this dominant culture is destroying the entire planet. How can you be like complacent in this? And then this woman's voice spoke up out of the dark corner. I didn't realize there was an elder woman sitting there. And she said, "You have to understand the teaching." Whoa, what teaching? And she said something that I've meditated on ever since. She said, "What needs to happen will happen." And I realized, if I think that climate change is destroying the planet, I need to fight. That needs to happen. And I may choose my battle to get something passed or whatever. I might lose that battle. And if so, that needs to happen. But that may set something in motion. It may wake some people up. And you don't have to worry about winning every time. Just do what needs to be done. That needs to happen. But it also means if we don't get our act together and humanity goes extinct, that needs to happen. I mean, it's this really, either if you show up, step up kind of a statement that.
Well, the elders having a very difficult time teaching the young ones the red road, because all this modern stuff is too easy. They just not interested in what happened then or now. It's too easy to get them off onto the black road where they are now.
The black road.
Yeah, that's
Oh, well, I haven't heard
black
that.
road. That's what we're on now.
Oh,
I mean, the young people are, because they don't pick up the culture and this. They don't listen to the elders anymore.
I don't know.
And there's not many elders left anymore that speak the tongue.
sure. No one in my family speaks Cherokee. It's been so long lost, but at least we've retained the memory of that grandmother and honor her. But I also think that we have always adapted. We've always adapted. When we came across the land bridge, we discovered all this huge continent. We adapted. We're different than what was back there in Siberia. We have to keep adapting. And maybe we don't need the old language to communicate to ourselves today, but we also now are surrounded by other cultures that also are looking for acceptance and a place. We have to jointly find our place together and to come together, as opposed to be divided and at war. And we have to come together, and that makes it, everybody needs to be adapting. But
Well, good luck on that.
I know. I know. How do we do that and honor these traditions?
I don't think you're seeing all of the young kids that actually are,
No, I
Going
don't,
in the
because
old
I
ways.
don't get out.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
go
quite
to
a
the
few of 'em.
reservations or anything, and
I've been getting him on YouTube. He's been watching a lot of Indian TED Talks and stuff, and they're
Wonderful.
talking about things. So
Wonderful.
Well, that was interesting. There was a couple of elders that were really interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good.
I think it's so great that you guys could stop and do this. I'm so glad we met you. You know, speaking of the land bridge,
It's the Lakota way.
it's yeah, right. To neighbor, to honor, to welcome. The land bridge. When we were coming across the land bridge, we didn't know we were coming to a new continent. You know, we were coming in canoes along the coast, right? And it wasn't like, oh, let's go just discover North America. It was just like, oh, well, maybe if we go around that little cove over there, maybe there'll be some better fishing and some better hunting, and maybe we'll have a little hunting and fishing village, a seasonal round over there. And pretty soon maybe somebody sets up homes over there and it becomes a little village, and we just kind of gradually, over centuries, thousands of years, kept coming around. But we couldn't get inland because of all this ice. Every valley we came to, the river pretty soon was blocked by ice. We couldn't get inland until we hit the Columbia. And here was this free-flowing river full of salmon. Whoa! And you could go inland in the Willamette Valley with mastodons. There were mastodons at the time, and elk and all this stuff. And the Deschutes River, they could cape it up into the Great Basin of Oregon, and there were huge lakes teeming with fish. And it was just like, whoa! So the Columbia was the gateway for humans into North America. We live right here. Pretty cool stuff.
What was your name?
Oh, I'm Frank Hall.
Nice. Thank you, Frank.
thank you so much.
All right, you guys.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
It's an honor to speak to you,
To you too,
or
sir.
listen to you, I should say.
I gab a lot.
No, it's great.
Well, you're easy to listen to.
You're a great storyteller.
No
Thank
one
you.
knows unless you tell them about it.
I know.
You know, that's what the elders try to tell the young people, and they're not that interested.
Mm. Yeah. Well, good. I'm just glad that we were able to have a conversation.
All right.
Okay, well, we're
We'll stick them in the ground. They'll grow natively.
Okay, and roots down.
Yes.
Okay.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Well, these bulbs come from the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, so we're spreading some of theirs. There you
All
go.
right.
Okay, we will definitely take him.
Take care. Calapooia on this land. We're on the traditional lands of the Calapooia that stretched from the whole Willamette Valley down over to the Umpqua Valley to Roseburg. And these fields used to be solid blue flowers. But the settlers, oh, they didn't like the Camas. They wanted to plant wheat and corn, and their pigs they brought with them just loved to uproot and eat the Camas. And so it's basically all went away, pretty much. Okay, but we are honored today to actually, we have a Lakota elder here who is just happened to be visiting the park.
Not get the kids,
And,
because they probably need to
invited them
have
to come say
permissions
hi.
or something.
What was the word that you just said, sir? Yakahe. Could we all say that together in response to him? Yakahe. Greetings from the heart. Much of Native American culture is really from the heart. They talk about spirit. Spirit is from the heart. So, anyway, we just thought it would be great to have you. And you are following in his footsteps. He has already planted Camas here, and they were just visiting and have to go. But I just wanted you to meet him and let him see you. And now we're going to get on to plant as much Camas as we can. And